Yeah, so we did have a couple other big things in the news. I guess we'll start with the one that was today, which was Gearbox at PAX East having a Borderlands. Of course, it's gonna be a Borderlands, but
it's gonna be Borderlands, the release, the re-sequel of the sequel of the release of the remaster of the Game of the Year edition, right?
That's exactly what it was. They padded as much as they could around it to not show you that really what they were saying was, we got a bunch of re-releases, a card game, and yeah, here's a quick thing for Borderlands 3, which
1 billion guns.
Yeah, which I liked that.
Yeah.
But the Borderlands card game, first of all, like, I think this is all right. Like, it's got a niche to it, but it's not something that people expected. But I think there was way too much of this presentation on the card game. And did you see any part of this, or you didn't get to see this?
I came in right as the Borderlands 3 show was going down.
Okay, so it's a card game. It's it's all in one box. Like, you don't have to. It's not like a Magic the
Gathering. It's a physical card game.
It's a physical card game.
Oh, that's a terrible
physical
idea.
Card game. And they're going through the physical cards right now, talking about building your own clap traps, and like, I'm like, there's a small market for this. I know that Randy's into into board games and stuff like that, so like, I get it.
That's an awful idea. Why would you not do a digital card game?
And he spent 15 minutes on this.
Boo.
15 minutes of their a little bit over an hour presentation. But the worst part of this was he decided he was going to do a magic trick during it. Because if you didn't know, Randy Pitchford is a magician. So he was joking around like, oh, I know my way around cards or whatever. And then he does a magic trick. And me as a magician, because I did a ton of close-up magic, I've done mentalism, and I can't remember if I've shown you any of it, but like, I did a lot of that. And even me as a magician watching him, I was like, why are you doing this? Like, why, as the CEO of a company, why are you up there treating this as like your own personal magic show? Because all these people are here to talk about Borderlands, so you want to do a card trick for them. I felt like it just did not fit. Am I wrong?
I didn't. I mean, when you were explaining it to me, I just didn't. The thing about Gearbox, they're infuriating, and I love them. Yeah, I love them, and they're infuriating. The game that we actually want, the one that we've been clamoring for, and I understand that you're a game company, you get to do whatever the F you want, so take that with a grain of salt. The game that we've been wanting for, and then you do an hour-long presentation, like, shut up! Give me... No, just... and so the fact that he would take the time, a physical card game is... Yeah. It's print media. Like, unless you're Magic the Gathering, go away. I mean, Pokemon to a very much lesser extent. Like, it's Magic, then Pokemon, and then every other card game that tries to make it into that. Yeah, but Hearthstone's digital.
No, yeah, but I agree. Physical, Yu-Gi-Oh is also a thing, kind of.
Still?
Yeah, still.
Okay.
But to me, no, you're exactly right. And if you're doing something like this, I mean, at least it's not a card game like a Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, because you just buy the box and you have the full thing. So it's like buying.
Okay, so it's like a tabletop.
Yeah, it's like tabletop gaming, but it's cards. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Munchkin is a card game, but it's a self-contained game.
Yes, this is self-contained.
I feel a little bit bad now. Yeah. No. You made it, whenever you were describing it, I was thinking of like a deck building game, like a game of like we're gonna build decks, play against each other.
Yeah,
and that's an awful idea. But a tabletop game, I could be on board with that.
But and also,
sorry, Randy.
And the thing that kills me as a magician watching his trick is, one, I figured it out, which isn't hard, and I figured it out right before anyone who's watching the video could figure out how. I would think, if you're looking at the right spot, would be able to figure out exactly how he did it. And to me, that really sucks.
Nobody was paying attention to that.
I guess no one was paying attention to that because they're worried about Borderlands, but like it's on video. This isn't like a live perform. This is a live performance, but it's on video. So
it's not that, dude. This is the age of attention span. You're gonna start doing a card trick while I care about the video game. I'm not listening to it anymore.
Yeah.
I'll come back when I hear like, and one more thing, or I'll come back when I start hearing you talk. Like the second that he would have gone into that card trick, you know me. I have 3 screens in my office. I will start looking at the other screen.
Sure, you'll wait. You'll wait for something else.
No attention span to watch BS like that.
Like no, and I like card tricks. So I was like, okay, he's doing a card trick. So I'm in this mix of like, I want to care about this, but I'm irritated that he's spending time doing this. I love him to death for like going for something that's a huge passion of his in like Magic, but to me it felt like it was too long and it was too like
where he should have been doing that is on the show floor. Like if they were showing any piece of Borderlands 3, like if Borderlands 3 was playable at PAX East and you have Randy Pitchford just hanging around the things and it's like, hey, you want to see a card trick? Like just to show everybody how cool he is, because he's known to be a very cool and chill individual. But on a presentation stage, I've been talking for the last 2 months about how much I love Nintendo Directs now. I didn't get them at first. The first year of them, I was kind of like, okay. But now as they've gotten better and they've shaped them and they've put it in more, and we're going to talk about state of play here in a second. Respect the time. Like, if you want to do that for the people that are in the crowd, I get it. Like, maybe it was meant more for the live thing and they just happen to be video streaming it, but I don't care.
No, you're exactly right. They just happened to be video streaming it, but to me, it was it didn't need to go on that long. It went, like I said, it went on way too long. It should have been about the game. It should have been about the game that they're talking about, and not him doing a card trick where he has someone sign it. The worst part of this, though, and I'm gonna go on a very short tangent. I promise it's short. 2 things in Magic. 2 real quick things to talk about in Magic. If you know what a gimmick is, and you know what a stooge is, those are the 2 terms. A gimmick means it's something that there is a trick to what he's doing. Like, it's not just a deck of cards. There's something else going on. He has a gimmick, and it's already basically pre-set up, if you want to call it that. Second thing, stooges. Both the people who were with him on stage were in on the act. That is a cardinal sin, in my opinion, when it comes to Magic. Like a Chris Angel crap where you pay a bunch of actors to stand around.
Sure.
That's why I hate that man. Anyways, but we did hear about Borderlands.
He makes a ton of money, though.
He makes a ton of money with camera tricks, and it's disingenuous. Liar. Liar, I say. Seriously, I'm sorry, but when you do a magic trick where you come up to a random person in a park and you pull the girl in half, literally pull her in half, and one half is like running with just her hands like through a field and everyone's screaming. When you do that, and what you really did was pay a bunch of actors and a disabled person to essentially be exploited, that's not magic. That's not magic. I'm sorry. Anyways, Handsome Jack collection, which I already have, but a Handsome Jack
Everybody
collection...
has it.
Yeah, exactly. Completely, fully remastered, which is why they did not say anyone who has it gets this, because they know they wouldn't get any money if they did that. So that's cool that they did that. To me, I was more happy about the original Borderlands remaster. Because to me, I think the first one was still better. Like, I liked the second one, but the first one I think was a better game.
Better story.
It's a much better story.
Second, in terms of the multiplayer gameplay, too, is better.
Yeah, so in this, it adds multiplayer up to 4 players co-op.
Yeah. So that was what made 2 stand out so much.
Exactly. So now they basically said, well, you can play 1 and do exactly what you wanted to play with 2. Like, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. And I like it says bazillions of guns, because as we talked about, they said there's 1 billion guns in Borderlands 3. I'm excited about Borderlands 3. I feel like I know it's going to be good, but part of me is like worried that it won't live up to the hype.
Nothing lives up to the hype.
Well, I'm worried that it's going to be like another Borderlands pre-sequel.
I don't think so. I think they know that if they don't nail this game, then they're gonna fold. I don't know how. And I say that without knowing anything about their financial situation. It's just every game that they've come out with not named Borderlands has failed.
Yep.
In the last 10 years. Borderlands is their franchise. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, if you have an IP that works, you need to respect that IP. I think they're going to respect Borderlands 3. He even got frustrated on stage, and I'm not going to talk too much about the rest of it for him. We talked about the magic trick enough, but if you feel like having a good time, you can go watch that show. A lot of things went wrong, and he got flustered during the Borderlands 3 part, which I felt bad. I felt bad for him. I felt bad for the crowd. Like, they were building up to this thing. The crescendo flopped because of technical difficulties. He said they've been working on it for 5 years. That's a big chunk of time. So if they've been working on the game for 5 years, I think that means that they know that they have to nail it, and I expect them to nail it. Robert brings up a good point. I made the joke earlier, 1 billion guns. Like, in terms of looter shooters, Borderlands is the looter shooter, still hands down the best looter shooter that exists. And some people don't like that term, I know, but in terms of just all these random guns that you can get and all the drops, like, that's what makes it fun. You're never going to see all those guns. It doesn't matter. You're just going to keep getting better stats and move on. I think that they know that they have to make it good, and I think it's going to be good.
No, I agree.
No doubt.
I think it has to be good. No, I definitely agree with that, but it's just a question of, it has to be good for their sake, but will it be good? I think it's going to be. I don't know. Part of me is concerned, I guess, about it, but
we'll see.
We'll see.
I believe.
You believe.
I'm gonna put my. That's the poster from X-Files, right? I believe.
I want to believe.
I want to believe. There we go. That's what I do. I want to believe.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.